Pretty Girl Club. So, a lot of you guys like it when I talk about skinny girl habits. If you want more content like this, be sure to join either the Patreon or the members page. I also do have a dark femininity course if you're looking for social climbing and manipulation tactics so that you can live the life that you want. But I want to talk about the things that skinny girls won't tell you. Okay, I'm talking about the women who look like models, like their body looks like a model. I'm talking like they've got maybe a thigh gap. They've got the abs. They've got the toned legs. They don't have a double chin. I want to talk about what they won't tell you because as a fellow slim woman myself, I can tell you that being thin is definitely a privilege. Okay, I've been slim and I've also been thick, and skinny girls just don't have the same problems as bigger women. So I just want to be honest with you. But number one is that they like being skinny. Okay, so no matter what they tell you, I know they're gonna say, like, oh no, you have a big butt. Oh no, you have big boobs. Oh, but look at your body. You're so thick and curvy. Yeah, they're gonna be nice because as a skinny girl, if you say anything negative about someone else's body, obviously people are gonna call you stuck up and a snob and they're gonna say you have an eating disorder. So, in order to like not be conceited or cocky, some skinny girls actually feel pressure to like be extra nice to bigger women and essentially lie to them and say like, oh no, your body looks so amazing, like I wish I had your butt, I wish I had your boobs. They don't, because if they really did, if the skinny girl really wanted to have a huge butt and a huge boobs, she would go get the boob job, or she would go get the BBL, or she would actually try to eat so that she can gain weight. But if she is not actively trying to gain weight, if your skinny friend is not actively gaining weight, or if she is not actively saving money to get a BBL and a boob job, then she likes being skinny. Okay, so that's the number one thing that skinny girls won't tell you, is that they like being skinny. That's why they are skinny and that's why they stay skinny, because they like it. So I know that like in the African American culture, being thick or like having a big butt and big boobs, I know that that's in. But by the way, I do want to talk about how being skinny, it also gives you access to more of a fluid identity, because your body is more similar to a lot of white girls. Your body's more similar to a lot of Asian girls. Your body is more similar to a lot of young Hispanic women. So I will tell you, as a person who went from being thick, kind of like a size 12, to going back to being super skinny again, when I'm super, super skinny, the amount of attention that I get from the Asian community, for example, it's much higher. Like I get a lot more compliments from Asian women. I get a lot more attention from Asian women. It even got to a point to where people were asking if I was Blasian, like when my hair was straight. So there are actually some cultures where people associate you with being skinny. I've also noticed that whenever I'm not big, so I've only been thick one time in my whole life. I told the story on here, but most of the time I'm super skinny, like naturally very skinny. So I noticed too that I get a lot of Barbie comments. A lot of people will say, oh my God, you look like a Barbie. Oh my God, you look like a doll. Oh my God, you look like a model. So that's something else that skinny girls won't tell you, is that the types of compliments that they get, they're actually getting complimented on their body. How do you know that you have thin privilege? It's because people will tell you. Like people will say comments like, oh, I want your body. I want your stomach. Oh, I wish I had your abs. So that's something else that skinny girls won't tell you, is that they get a lot of compliments on their actual body. That's how you know that you have thin privilege. People are complimenting your body. People are asking you for workout tips. People are trying to copy your diet. If a woman is obese, generally speaking, people are not trying to copy her diet. But if a girl is skinny, usually like you know that you have thin privilege, because when you're at work eating your lunch, people will ask you, oh, what is that? Oh, what kind of healthy salad is that? Oh, what is that you're drinking? Is that a protein shake? What is that? So people ask you more questions. They're more curious because they themselves, they want your body, or they want their body to be more similar to yours, or they want your weight. So that's another thing skinny girls won't tell you. Skinny girls know that a lot of bigger women would trade weight with them if they could. So for the people who were talking shit about the exotical space, saying, well, there's nothing that they have in their life that I want to have for my life, bitch, you're a liar, because I know that if you could trade weights with me on the scale, then you would. So that's another thing that a lot of skinny girls won't tell you. We know that a lot of people in this world and in this society want to be skinny. They want to be a healthy weight. A lot of women want to be 120 pounds, 130 pounds, 140 pounds, 150 pounds, even 160 pounds. So you can't lie to us thin women and try to convince us that, oh no, I love being 350 pounds. No, you don't. You don't love being 350 pounds. You're lying. That is a lie. Okay, number two thing that skinny girls won't tell you is that they are always moving their bodies. That's why they don't gain weight. Like, have you ever been around a skinny woman where you guys go out to eat? She's eating 5 slices of pizza. She's eating all the candy. She's eating all the cake. She's eating all these cookies. And you're wondering, how does she stay so slim? Well, it's because she's moving her body more than you, probably. She's probably either going to the gym, or even if she doesn't go to the gym, she likes to clean her apartment. That is still burning calories. She cleans up her apartment every day. She's always out and about, going grocery shopping, going to the nail salon. You're still getting in steps when you go to the mall, or when you go to the nail salon, or when you go stand in line at the post office. So she's more of a busybody, if that makes sense. Like, she moves her body more. So even if it's not through the gym or weightlifting, because you don't have to, that's another misconception, by the way. You don't have to lift 250 pounds to be skinny. You don't have to be Hulk Hogan in order to lose weight. I've noticed that's kind of a popular trend on social media. You'll see these women lifting these big ass weights, and it's like, oh my God, I've never in my life tried to bench press 250 pounds just so I can lose weight. But anyway, that's another thing skinny girls won't tell you, is that they're moving their bodies more than you. So that's why you'll see them eating so much food and you don't understand why it is that, like, they still can stay skinny after eating that much. Well, it's because they're probably moving their body. So when you eat something, like if you're big or whatever, when you eat something, you're not burning it off. You're not burning any calories. You're just sitting around. A lot of skinny girls, they don't sit around like that. Because, like, when you're skinny, if you eat healthy and stuff, generally speaking, you're going to have more energy because you're not trying to digest 3,000 calories of food every single day. So your actual digestive system is not as fatigued as a fat woman. So that's why a lot of skinny girls, they can eat a whole bunch or whatever. Like, they can eat a bunch maybe once a day or once a week or whatever, or when they're around you. But generally speaking, when they're at home, they tend to move their bodies, even if they're just stretching. Like, I do stretches every day, actually. I do stretches in my room, like before I go to bed. Like, if I feel sore, I will do stretches. But a lot of bigger women, obviously, they just don't move their bodies as much because it's literally more taxing to move your body. If you weigh 400 pounds, imagine having to do stretches on a 400-pound body. That's going to be more difficult. Okay, but number 4, things that a skinny girl will not tell you. They don't snack as much as you, okay? Us skinny girls, we don't snack as much as you. We don't snack as much on unhealthy stuff that causes weight gain as much as you. So you may see us eating a lot when we're at the girls' night. You might see us eating a lot at the office party. You might see us snacking a lot at work. But when we get home, we're not eating 5 bags of chips every night. It's not a habit, is what I'm trying to say. With skinny girls, their snacking habits, I've noticed, are different than like an obese woman. So for example, actually, I had a coworker, she happened to be obese, and I would snack all day when I was at work, but I would snack on like some healthy trail mix or maybe like a protein bar. Those would be my snacks. And I noticed she would snack on, those sausage McMuffins? Like, that would be her snack. She would have 2 or 3 sausage McMuffins as her snack. So that's literally like a meal. Basically, a lot of really big girls, their snacks would be the same as like a meal for a skinny girl. So it's like you eating an Egg McMuffin. For me, an Egg McMuffin, that's my breakfast. That's my lunch. That's something that I would consider that a meal for myself because my stomach is going to get full off of an Egg McMuffin and a coffee. But for the girl at my job who happened to be obese, that was just a snack for her. So she would have an Egg McMuffin, and then at lunch she would have another burger and then a full plate of fries and stuff. So that's something else skinny girls won't tell you. Our snacking habits are different than women who are like obese. Or we simply do not snack as much because maybe our eating habits, maybe we eat protein or something that just makes us full in general. Okay, number 5, thing that skinny women will not tell you is that they have a way that they are tracking their body. Okay, so all women who are skinny and fit, I'm talking about the women who look like models, like their bodies look like a model. Yeah, she definitely has a way of tracking her body. So whether she's weighing herself on the scale, if she's not weighing herself on the scale, she's tracking herself in the mirror. She looks in the mirror at her body. She looks at herself naked or looks at herself in her underwear just to kind of see what is her stomach looking like, what are her thighs looking like, what are her arms looking like. Or she has an app on her phone or something, like the MyFitnessPal app or like the little calorie tracking apps. She has some way that she is tracking her body. She is tracking her body whether it's via her workouts, like, okay, I'm going to do a workout 3 days a week. She has some sort of tracking system going on. And that is why she has that model body and she's like maintaining her tone and stuff like that. So that's another thing a lot of skinny women do not talk about, because obviously it sounds very cocky, right? Like if you're skinny, if you have like this model-esque type of body, you're not going to go around telling people, oh yeah, I just ran 5 miles this weekend and then I just counted my calories and then I just ate 150 grams of protein. You're not going to say that because it sounds very pretentious. And so that's why a lot of people, they're constantly wondering, like, how do these skinny girls get these bodies? Well, it's because they're doing some form of tracking it. Maybe they're tracking their macros, maybe they're weighing their food, maybe they're tracking what meals they eat, or they're coming up with a grocery list and they're kind of picking and choosing healthy items at the store. So they don't just go in the store like a dumbass and just pick up all the processed food and then go home and eat 5,000 calories. No, they're tracking their shit. Some skinny girls, they might do food journaling, or they may journal about like their weight loss goals. They might be writing it down, kind of like manifesting it. Maybe they're adding their fitness goals into their spiritual practice. Maybe they're going to yoga classes, but they have some kind of way that they are kind of organizing their time or kind of like tracking their body. So I've noticed that's a big difference between like very overweight women and women who stay within kind of this model-esque type of body. Number 6, and this is going to be a hard pill to swallow, but they are better planners. And that's why they're meeting their goals. They're meeting their fitness goals because they are simply better planners. They will write down or they'll put it in their calendar. Okay, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm going to yoga. On Friday and Saturday, I'm doing running. And then Monday and Wednesday, I'm doing weightlifting. So they're planning out how they're going to do their workout, or they're planning out what to eat, or maybe they're planning out going to cryotherapy or going to the sauna, going to the spa. They're doing all these little weight loss hacks, or like they're doing these things that enhance weight loss. They're going to smoothie shops instead of going to McDonald's on a Saturday afternoon. So they have all of these little small micro habits that kind of all work into like this fitness plan for themselves. So whether they realize they're doing it or not, that is what they're doing. Versus a lot of obese women, I've noticed a lot of them are more they don't really have as many plans. Like if you were to ask the average woman who's been super overweight, if you were to ask her, what are you doing this weekend? What are you planning on eating this weekend? A lot of them would have no idea. But generally speaking, if you ask a skinny girl, what are you doing this weekend? Usually she will actually have something in her schedule that helps her fitness goals. She might say, oh, actually I have yoga on Saturday. Or, oh, actually I was going to do my meal prepping on Sunday. Sundays are my meal prep days. So that's the difference between the girls who have these perfect bodies versus the women who struggle with their bodies. The skinny girls, they are doing some form of planning. A lot of skinny girls' body positivity is performative, okay? I'm sorry to break it to you. But like I said, if you have the body of like a model, and then you start going around telling people how much you love being skinny and how much you love your six pack, and obviously that comes off as cocky. And so a lot of skinny girls, because they don't want to be considered stuck up, they will just go along with Lizzo or women like that, and they'll be like, hey, get it, girl, like, oh, you're so confident. That's another thing too. They won't usually compliment obese women on their bodies because they know that they'd be lying. So instead they'll just say, oh, you're so confident, oh, that outfit is cute. They didn't say their body was cute, they just said the outfit. Okay, so the shirt is cute, not the stomach underneath the shirt, but the actual shirt, that's cute. So a lot of the body positivity is very performative, especially from women who have like these model-esque bodies, because the models, if they have a choice, they're not going to trade bodies with a woman who's obese. Okay, so I'm just letting you know, it's performative, sis. Number 8, skinny girls do not have fat people problems. Okay, they don't have fat girl problems. They can fit in the plane seat. They don't have to worry about that. They're not burning holes through their jeans and leggings by their thighs rubbing together. They don't have to worry about their stomach hanging out. They can wear a bikini. They can go to Goodwill or some cheap store. They can go to Shein and Fashion Nova and get all of those stringy, strappy bikinis that are barely holding you in. They can get that and wear that, and they don't have to worry about any fat hanging out or any rolls, like collapsing over the side. Their body doesn't look like it's melting off of their skin. Like their skin looks like it's melting because they got all these rolls, or they look like a Pillsbury Doughboy. No, they don't have the same problems as fat people, okay? That's something that you need to accept. So if you're big and you're wondering about kind of the psychology of a lot of skinny girls, they don't have fat people problems. So they'll never be able to relate So when you tell the model-esque woman about your body problems, she can't relate. When you tell her, oh my God, I've got like all these gut health problems because I just ate like 10 burgers in the past 10 days, she can't relate. Because most skinny girls, they're not eating 10 burgers in 10 days unless that's all they're eating. Or if they're eating 10 burgers, they're also eating vegetables or fiber or something else that's helping it to get out of their body. The next one is that skinny girls, they just have different eating habits in general. If you don't believe me, go find one of your skinny friends on Facebook or on Instagram and follow her stories. Look at the food that she posts on her story. Look at the type of food she eats. Does she eat fast food every single day? Is she constantly posting fast food? Or is she only posting fast food on her stories maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks? Another thing that skinny girls won't tell you is that a lot of skinny girls do not eat 3 meals a day. You know how they have like breakfast, lunch, and dinner in American culture? So a lot of skinny girls, they might do 5 small meals, kind of like how in some Asian communities they do that. So maybe they'll have a soup or like something, almost like a snack. A big girl would consider it a snack. So sometimes they'll do 5 small meals a day. Some skinny girls will just do all snacking the whole day. They'll just only eat a whole bunch of protein bars or something, or fiber bars. Some girls will eat 1 meal a day. Some girls do intermittent fasting. Some women eat 2 meals a day. If you don't believe me, think about when you were the skinniest in your life. Think about when you were in high school. Okay, when I was in high school, I never ate breakfast. So I did not eat 3 meals a day. I only ate, well, sometimes I wouldn't eat lunch either. I would go sometimes the entire school day without having any food. I would go all the way until 3 p.m. and not have any food. Technically, that is fasting. So a lot of skinny girls, they just naturally, they kind of have those same behaviors that they had when they were a teenager, to where maybe sometimes they just forget to eat, or sometimes they purposely plan it out, or they'll fast, or they just are not hungry for breakfast, so they don't eat breakfast, or maybe they're not hungry at dinner time. Like for me, I'm not very hungry at dinner. I don't like big dinners. That doesn't sound good to me. Like I'm not going to sleep well if I have a big, huge dinner. So most skinny girls, they're not eating these big ass breakfasts, a heavy ass lunch, and a big ass dinner. They're not doing that. They're not feasting every day. So all you have to do is just look at how you were when you were at your skinniest. Did you eat 3 meals a day, or did you eat like 4 small meals instead? Or like, maybe you just had a snack. You know how they talk about girl dinner on TikTok? So that's what a lot of skinny girls do. They'll do a full meal for breakfast, maybe. They'll do a smaller meal for lunch, and then maybe they'll do a little girl dinner. But it's not a real dinner. It's not a real meal. It's literally just a cup of ice cream or something. So it's really a dessert. So that's another skinny girl habit versus a lot of obese women. They're eating a full meal. Like my coworker, she was eating full on meat. Like she was constantly eating a whole bunch of processed meats, I noticed. So she would have like these processed meats for breakfast. She would have the egg McMuffin, the sausage, egg, and cheese sandwich as a snack. And then for lunch, she would have a burger and fries. And then when she got home, she most likely would have maybe some meat again and like a whole bunch of saturated fats. But like when I was a teenager, I didn't realize how few calories I was eating. So that's another thing too. You might see a skinny girl eating unhealthy. Like when I was a teenager and I was super skinny, like I said, I spent the majority of my life skinny, except for the one time when I was thick. That was kind of during COVID. But generally speaking, even when I was a teenager, I would eat unhealthy every single day. I literally would eat like gigantic chocolate muffins sometimes, or like, I don't know, maybe I would eat a candy bar sometimes. And this is in high school. But then I remember one time for PE class, the teacher asked us to track our calories. Like that was one of our homework assignments. And I tracked my calories, and I was only eating about 900 calories a day. And I actually went to the teacher after class and I was like, oh my gosh, my calories are so low. And then he was like, well, let me take a look at your calories. And then he was like, oh, it's because sometimes you don't eat anything at school, like at all. And then other days, all you're eating is a chocolate muffin. And then the chocolate muffin was 900 calories. So like that would be the whole thing that I would eat. So even though I was technically unhealthy sometimes as a teenager, I still was in like this low calorie, I had low calories basically. So that's another thing about skinny girls. So sometimes if you see a girl who's skinny and she's unhealthy, yeah, she might be eating unhealthy, but that's probably all she eats. All she eats is candy, or all she eats is like chocolate muffins. This is what I do sometimes on vacations. I know it's a really bad habit, but sometimes I'll be like, look, I'm just going to eat all, like chocolate cake today. That's what I'm eating today. Because some skinny girls, they're just like that. They just keep the same habits from when they were a teenager. I'm not saying they're going to have a lot of energy. Obviously, that's not good for your actual immune system and stuff, but some girls are like that. Anyway, what do you ladies think? Are you skinny? Has being skinny helped your fluid identity? Let me know what you think in the comment section, and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.